Hi, everybody. Welcome to the webinar today. We're excited you're here. We're going to get started here in about 2 minutes. Until then, you can watch Jill and I in our natural habitats for a couple of minutes. So thanks for
Yes,
jumping on, everybody.
we're so excited that you're here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome, everybody. We're excited you're here. We're going to get started in about 1 minute. 1 minute. Awesome, everybody. Thanks for jumping on today. We're so excited you're here. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to join this webinar today. We'll try to keep it relatively quick. And get you back to your day. So let's do introductions first. We'll do some housekeeping items, and then we'll get started. So my name is McKay Allen. I'm the CEO of Patch. Been at the company coming up on a year, which is exciting. And we'll tell you a little bit about what we do today if you're unfamiliar. But we're so excited you're on the webinar today. So Jill, why don't you take a second, just introduce yourself for those who don't know you. Probably a lot of people on the call do. And certainly tell us a little bit about CourtReserve if anybody on the call doesn't know what CourtReserve is and does.
Yes, thank you so much, McKay, and thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to spend with us here. I am Jill Davis. I've been with Court Reserve for a little over 3 years now. I'm the director of the customer experience. What does that mean? Well, I manage sales, onboarding, and customer success at Court Reserve. We have a wonderful amazing product that serves tennis and pickleball clubs, really racket sports. We're in the US, Canada, all over the country, and we're an all in one club management system. We have wonderful relationships and integrations with Patch, for example, and I'm here to answer any questions that you may have today.
Awesome. Great. So let's just go through some announcements and kind of explain how this will work. So we're going to try to be done here in about 30 minutes. I've been on a lot of 60 or 90-minute webinars in my life, and they can get long. So we'll try to keep this relatively quick. Um, the webinar is going to be recorded, so you'll be able to share this with your teams and your colleagues and anybody you want to. Also, we really do want questions. So in the top of your little GoToWebinar panel there, you're going to see a little chat bubble and a little question area. You can write questions into either of those. We'll see them, and we'll answer them as we go if we see them and if we're able to. And then we'll also block out time at the end to answer those as well. So we're excited you're here, and we're excited for this discussion. So we're going to be talking a little bit today about the patch integration with CourtReserve. So this integration, I think we built it, 4 or 5 months ago now, Jill, right? And
Yeah.
there's around 100-ish companies and clubs using it at this point. So we'll talk about today, what is Patch? What does the integration do? And then specifically, how are clubs like yours using the integration? And that's, I think, the core piece that we want to spend a lot of our time on. So first of all, about Patch, essentially our job is to help you keep members get new members, and turn visitors into members. So turn one-time players into long-time members, keep members, upgrade them. Over 1,000 businesses right now are using Patch for texting, email, and customer retention. Right now, about 60 clubs per month are joining Patch, which is awesome. And so what do we do? What are the features? What are the things that we help you with? Um, all of your retention tools on a single platform. So email, you can send emails to segments of your list, groups of your list, large groups, small groups, segment, slice and dice. So you could send emails to members who haven't been in 60 days or people who are not members yet, however you want to do it. We've also got an email builder within our system that you can easily create emails from, which I'll show you. Text messaging, so one-to-one text messaging with your customers, as well as group text messaging to large groups of people, to non-members, to members, whatever. Also automated journeys. We help you generate reviews in an automated way, so automated Google review generation, which is really exciting. One-to-one texting that you can put a little bubble on your website, and it will ask the person if they want to text with you and chat with you, which is really cool. And then, of course, a lot of reporting and a lot of insights. So let's talk about the integration specifically here and explain kind of what it does, which I think is really important. So basically, this integration will sync your CourtReserve data to Patch. That's simple. So contact fields, first name, last name of the player, where they're from, age, all that kind of stuff syncs over. When they spend money, we call it an order finished event, but it's basically like when they show up at your facility. And if they're a member or not and how much they're paying you, that data can sync over to Patch if you want it to. Membership type and status. So some of you will have trial memberships, of course, different levels of membership. That data can sync into Patch as well with this integration. What is the next reservation type? So are they coming to see an instructor next? Are they coming for a specific class? Whatever that is. And then pickleball rating, last check-in, and then calendar blocks is, I think, either just launched or is launching right in the middle of where we're talking today, which is awesome. So essentially, like, you can actually push into Patch data around what time somebody shows up, what time they leave, which is pretty incredible. And there's a lot of things you can do with that, which we'll cover. So you could say, okay, we want to send someone an email if their membership's going to expire or if they haven't been in a while, or we want to send them a text 30 days before their birthday and then again on their birthday. So I'll walk through these and explain them, but this gives you a little bit of a sense of some of the things you can do. Jill, anything you want to add on the integration itself, or the way customers might be using it? And again, we'll get into some of the really specific use cases, but just wanted to see if you had anything to add here, higher level.
We've just had some wonderful feedback regarding Patch and the customers that are using it, how it's helping their customers, their players engage when maybe they've become inactive or things like that. And that it's really just helping grow their business and continue to have the same level of use when they utilize the Patch and CourtReserve integration. I did see, McKay, that you had the promo codes listed on here as well. With the promo codes, that's something that we're currently building. It's in this particular sprint. I don't have an exact date of when that's going to be available, but there are some wonderful things that will come with that too. If you're wanting to offer players different discounts and things like that to come back and make a reservation and get involved in that open play or cardio tennis or pickleball event, all of those types of things. So lots of different usage and settings that will be available around that too. And if we want to get into that later, I definitely can answer questions around that.
Love that. That's awesome. Great. So here's some common questions that I think are important to highlight. So one of the questions we get asked a lot from clubs is, do my players interact with Patch at all? No. So they do not even know that Patch exists. They just get emails or texts from you at the club, and Patch facilitates that. That's the background. So like we don't interact with your players at all. How long does it take to get going? we'll usually do a demo call with you. And if you want to become a customer, that'll take, 2 or 3 onboarding calls just to make sure you know how to use the tool and are prepared to, like engage with it and use it. And we've also got ongoing customer support, of course. And then obviously, like this is so important. Like Patch is a tool, but the thing that's exciting, and I'll show you this, is you can set up really cool automations, and then just it'll run in the background forever, which is really exciting. So actually, you know what? Let me go through these here real quick, and then we can dive into some of the specific use cases. So we are seeing a lot of impact on clubs that are using Patch. So, for example, one club had 53% of their open play visitors convert to members after starting to use Patch. One club had 20-second bookings from an intro to pickleball class. Another club had 180 memberships sold to players who were non-members, which is really exciting. And then we've had multiple instances of clubs having $5,000 in revenue from a single text blast that they sent to a large group of their customers, which is pretty exciting. So what does Patch do? Let me explain what it does. So we use what we call RFM analysis, not terribly important. Bottom line is we're able to kind of bucket your members and your non-members into groups and say, okay, these are the groups that are loyal. These are the people that are loyal. Here's the people that are at risk. Here's the people that are already lost. And as you can imagine, once you have that information, you can do a lot of cool stuff with that data. So that's the first step, is identifying who these are, mapping them, putting them into buckets, into groups, so you can easily target them in different ways. We'll also help you identify like how big the opportunity is if you could retain some of these folks who have not come recently, and how much revenue you can actually capture. And of course, tell you which marketing tactics that you're using are effective or not. So what are the specific things you can do? Number one is send bulk emails or text messages. So you can segment players, members or not, doesn't matter, down into lists, down into segments. And then you can write emails, write text messages, and send to those people. You can schedule them for a future date. You can send them right now. Totally depends on how you want to do it. One of the things that we saw within our system, by the way, and I wanted to include these slides for this reason, is we would sign up a club and they would be like, I'm so excited. And then they would go into the email builder and realize they had to write emails. And they're like, oh man, this is like a lot. So what we did is we said, okay, we're going to try to make this as easy as we can. So we created an AI generated writing system, basically. So when you go to write an email within our system, you write a little prompt, and then you click generate, and it actually writes the email for you. So you can then just edit it, which is really exciting and really cool. So you're able to easily go in and create content. So don't worry about like, oh man, am I going to have time to write all these emails that you want me to send out? Don't let that be the worry you have, because we've thought of that and have taken care of that for you. The same thing's true of texting, by the way, where you can easily have text created with AI. So you can say, I want to send a text that converts non-members to members at my pickleball location, and include a booking link, and it'll do it. And it knows it's a text, so it needs to be a certain length, which is really cool. Why is texting so important? Why do we talk about that a lot? So 95% of text messages are read. Compare that to about 20% of emails. I don't know about you guys, but I do not have any little red circle text messages that are unread on my phone. I have several hundred emails that are unread in my inbox. Jill, are you the same way?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
love what you've done here because it really makes it so much effective, so much more
Yeah.
effective.
Yeah, it's funny. Like people, I think emails becoming like white noise a little bit, whereas texting still has like people read them instantly, which is really
Yes.
important. Keeping with that, one of the things we've added to our system is we call it text chat. And it's basically a text widget that just goes on your website that someone can click on, and they put their information in, and it instantly starts a text thread with them. So you're able to, within Patch, actually start to send text messages back and forth with them, which is pretty exciting. And it's used a lot. So businesses who put this on their website see an instant And we're talking the day they put it on, uptick by 30%, 40% of people that are engaging with them from their website, which is cool. What are some of the common automation campaigns that you can use? So I'm going to go through a few of the most common, and then I'll go through really specific examples. So one that's really common that customers are using, that clubs are using, is at a very specific time every day. This could repeat at 10 a.m. every day. You can say, okay, on someone's birthday, I am going to send them either a text or an email. You set this up one time and you never have to do it again. And it will send everyone in your database on their birthday a text or an email offering something. You can also set it up to where they get one text 30 days before their birthday, one 2 weeks before their birthday, and then one on their birthday, for example. There's lots of ways you could build this. This is a really popular one. Basically, when someone shows up 3 times, so 3 check-ins triggers this, they get a text or an email that asks them to leave a Google review. So we have a club that tripled their Google reviews in 60 days using this exact thing you're seeing on your screen. So if you're like, man, how do I stand out in a crowded market? Like Jill and I were talking before the call, how, and you guys feel this, some of the markets that you're in, or there's starting to be a lot of clubs open up. How do you stand out? Get a bunch of Google reviews. It will help you with search, and it will help you as people evaluate where they want to put their money and their time. So this is a great one. Another one, inactive player engagement. Like if someone has not been in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, you send them a text or an email. And here's the cool part. If they come back, if they check in, it ejects them from the campaign so they don't keep getting messages, which is really kind of ingenious. If someone is a new member, you could put them in a welcome series that they receive an email, then 3 days later a text, and 6 days later an email, then 12 days later an email or a text. So there's a lot of ways you can use this, as you can see. So let's dive in. How are clubs specifically using the integration? We covered this a little bit, but I just want to get into some results and some exact use cases. So before I do that, I want to pause, Jill, and just see if you had any thoughts or any of those like examples that I used that that stuck out to you or that you thought were particularly interesting.
Well, I love all of the things that you highlighted because those are things that we additionally get feedback on the Court Reserve side. How, the fact that they're ejected from the list of receiving more emails and things like that. And, it's this reach out campaign that is, it shows your players, hey, I'm paying attention. I care about you. Happy birthday, so on and so forth. And it's really offers kind of that concierge feel that people are looking for, that want them to stay and engage at your facility. Also, it's great for reminders of upcoming fun events and things to engage participation, so on and so forth. So those are things that you highlighted, McKay, that, we just hear about, and it's fantastic.
Awesome. Um, that's great. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because we had in our mind how we thought clubs were going to use this. And sometimes that's been true, but other times clubs are thinking of ways to use this that we didn't even, think of. So let's talk about some really specific examples. So this is from a pickleball club in Utah. They have produced about $75,000 in revenue from the automations alone. They're also using email blasts and text blasts, and they've sent a lot of those blasts, like a lot, which is kind of fun to see. Another one called Peak Pickleball. You can see over here on the right-hand side the amount of revenue that the automations and blasts are producing for them. So they've got automations like this Google review automation, non-member re-engagement, a birthday automation. They're actually sending theirs 7 days before, as you can see on the screen here. That's producing revenue for them. This is a non-member or at-risk member win-back campaign. So, that you can see the emails and the text that they're sending 7 days after they actually flow into the campaign. You can see the email builder that they're using. There's just a lot of cool examples. This is a one from a pickleball club in Florida. They're using the one-to-one texting on their website, which is really cool. And they got $2,500 from one single campaign called a non-member re-engagement campaign that they built. So they sent it to 1,965 customers and generated $2,500 in revenue from this campaign. One based in Ohio produced $19,500 in revenue in the last 7 days, which is really cool. Here's the thing that's cool, and I just want to highlight this screen here. You can see the red and the blue. So the red is actual conversions revenue from the automations that are always running. And so you're seeing those every single day, just a little amount. The email blast, you see a typical like bell curve, right? So you can tell the day they send an email blast, March 11th, and then you see the effectiveness kind of die off. So they'll send another one. They send another one in April. They'll send another one in May. So you see the email effectiveness like kind of bell curve, but the automation effectiveness will just be a little bit every day because that's what it's designed to do, is to send to a group of people every day. A Kentucky-based one, I found this one yesterday as I was going through this deck. Around 19,000 in revenue in the last 7 days. A very simple trial membership automation. So for anybody that's having a trial membership, it's sent them an email, delayed 7 days, sent another email, and they've gotten revenue from that. So these are all really unique and interesting ways to use the integration, which I think is important and cool. So just to reiterate, and I want to stress this because people always ask this, like Patch is not part of CourtReserve. CourtReserve is not part of Patch. We're two separate companies. But we built this integration so our technologies could talk to each other. And so if you're using CourtReserve, we think this is a great opportunity to add email, texting, automations, and start to build some of these really cool automations that run in the background. So examples of things you can do, common ones. I showed you a bunch, I just want to reiterate. So membership expirations, following up after a class or a tournament. If they've shown up for the first time, a thank you message. A trial membership conversion like that club in Kentucky did that I just showed you. If you've got a tournament on a Saturday and you want to just send everybody in your database an email or remind them of it, do that. A birthday reminder that you set up one time. Anniversary of their membership. We have a lot of clubs who do discounts on gear or food or drink, or a visitor discount on their anniversary. So there's a lot of things you can do there. One of the ones that's effective is if you haven't paid, if someone hasn't paid in a while. Set up automations if their billing has failed. So there's a lot of ways you can do this. So let's pause here and take questions for a few minutes, if that works for you, Jill. So
Sounds great.
All right, let me open up the questions. So this one's a compliment for you from Shauna, Jill.
Oh,
Jill, the customer experience has been awesome. The staff has been fun to dialogue with and extremely helpful. Finally, a company with real customer service. Thank you. So that's awesome.
that
Congrats,
is.
Jill.
Thank you, Shauna, so much.
That's great. So Shauna also asked a follow-up question. CourtReserve already has basic email. What's the difference? So let me take that one first, and then Jill, if you want to jump in there too, that'd be great. So I would say the difference is three things. The first is the level of sophistication and filtering you can do for your email sends, number one. Second is having texting, one-to-one texting and group texting. And the third are these automations, Shauna, is what I would say. So the ability to say, okay, I'm going to build an automation, I'm going to build a journey, a campaign for everybody that's in a trial membership, and I set it up one time and I never have to think about it again and it runs forever. That's probably the biggest difference I see. Jill, what would you say to that, or what would you add to that?
I would agree. The number one thing that came to mind is the automation that exists. So once you set it up, it's going to send these out automatically for you. And obviously, just pointing out and reiterating what McKay said about the smart part of it, where if someone responds, it's going to take them off of that email. So with our email, we do have the advanced editor and all of those things, but it's something that you have to manually go in and do. So definitely the automation is the big standout for me.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Can you do a campaign, Taylor asks, for new non-member visitors after their first booking for a rental or an event? Not after creating an account, but after the first check-in. Yes, absolutely. That's a very common one. So if someone checks in for the first time, as long as you gather their contact info, obviously, and put that into CourtReserve, it will sync into Patch, and you could build an automation for that. That is one of the most common use cases. So if I go to, I forget which slide it was. I'm sure I'll find it eventually. But there was one of the slides I had that a customer of ours, a club, used. They sent an automation to everybody who had been before but wasn't a member, and they were able to capture 180 new members in a single month doing that. So yes, great question, Taylor. Andy, this is a good question. Is the text chat, the one-to-one chat on your website, is that monitored by a bot, or does someone have to converse with the person reaching out? Great question. So there's two answers to that. The first is, this is a tool. So it's just like a hammer. You can use it or not, right? So yes, someone at your business would need to monitor that and reach out if someone responds to it. But what we found is the business that you're going to get, the engagement that you're going to get, is going to more than justify doing that. Just keeping the window open and texting if they text in. The other thing that we are offering now is the ability for us to do that for you for like an extra professional services cost. That's the idea. So I hope that answers your question. Brian, is there any concern that reminding a member who hasn't visited the club in a while could just potentially trigger them to quit? Sure, I guess that's possible. What I would suggest with this, though, is if their membership's about to expire anyway, putting them in a campaign where they get a few reminders that their membership's about to expire is only going to be helpful in that scenario. So, because what they're going to do is if you just have it automatically renew, they're going to call annoyed that it automatically renewed because they forgot about it. So yeah, we've seen our customers have had a ton of success with messages like 30, 45, 90 days before a membership expires. Let's see. How much do you charge for emails? So emails in our system are included in our subscription price. So you pay the subscription price, emails are included. We also have started to include 2,000 free text messages for customers as well, which is new. Additional text messages beyond that do cost because we have a hard cost associated with them. But emails and email sends are included within the system, regardless of the number of contacts you have. Jim, that was your question. That's a really good question. Let's see. In CourtReserve, you cannot see open rates or link clicks. Is it beneficial to send emails through Patch to be able to get more data? So I'll let Jill take that one too. But I would say, like, one of the things that, because we do the automations and we do the email chains, like, yeah, we do provide open rates, click rates. You can click into those and see who the people are who opened and clicked, and then send follow-ups to just those people, for example, which is actually pretty cool. But Jill, I didn't know if you had any thoughts on that one or any other ones I've just taken here along the way.
So with the open rates and such, that's true. We do not have that available right now, but it is something that has been on our idea board, and it is something that we in the future are definitely going to allow for that to be visible to all of you. I don't have an exact date of when that's going to be implemented, but that is something that is slated for the future.
Awesome. And as I said, Patch has that now, which is good.
Yes.
Okay. Brian asks, within the included text messages, the 2,000, and it might be 2,500, but I wanted to say 2,000 because I wanted to be low rather than high if I was wrong. So I think let's go with 2,000. Each contact that receives a message counts as one message, correct? If you text 400 contacts about a lead clinic, that counts as 400. Yeah, each individual text counts as a text. So yeah, that's the right way to think about it. Let's see. Mark says, I'm about to open my club in 2 months. I am not yet using Court Reserve, but I have a wait list of over 100 interested members. How can I use Patch now? Yeah, so I would suggest, and I think Jill would agree with me here, like if you're opening in 2 months, it's probably the exact right time to sign up with Court Reserve and get going so you're ready to roll on day one and you can start to capture those members. And you can also sign up for Patch now as well. So we can get you started, get you set up. And then when you're set up with both systems, the data will start syncing and you can start to do the things I've talked about. But I don't think you're too early is my point. We've seen this over and over. Jill, you've probably seen it too, of like clubs that are opening on Monday and Thursday they call and want to be set up by Monday, and it's like, hey, we should have thought about this earlier. It'll take us a minute. So I would say get set up now, Mark. If it were me, Jill, would
Yes.
you agree with that?
I would recommend that, Mark. Absolutely. And, another thing too to think about is pre-selling memberships where you don't necessarily have to have everything set up right away, but you have the ability to start pre-selling memberships, have that interest, of people coming in and then, just allow the ability to purchase that membership and generate upfront revenue. So lots of different options there. If you're not already talking to us, please definitely, you can email us at sales@courtreserve.com or go to courtreserve.com and schedule a call with us. And we'd be happy to answer all of your questions. We'll show you exactly all of the things that we offer, and you'll have a dedicated account executive that will work alongside of you as well as our onboarding team to make sure that you get set up with everything that you need to be successful.
Awesome. One more question and then we can be done. Is the integration available to legacy subscription tier users? If it isn't, what subscription tier is it included in? I'll just address one thing and then let you answer that question specifically, Jill. So just to like reiterate, because it's not like we've had a ton of confusion on this. I just want to make sure it's super clear. So again, Patch is a separate company, so there's a separate subscription cost. Um, and like but the data syncs, and I think that's a really important part, is the data that you're putting into Court Reserve, that your customers checking in puts in Court Reserve, all that stuff will sync to Patch, and you're then able to send these campaigns and execute. So I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add there, Jill.
Uh, so the patch is available to all customers, and so if you're interested, please definitely don't hesitate to come into either our live chat, or you can email our live chat at support@courtreserve.com, and you can also email the sales@courtreserve.com, and we'd be happy to connect and talk to you about what that process looks like.
Awesome. Jill, any final thoughts here before we conclude? I want to make sure that we get everybody out around in about 30 minutes like we promised.
Thank you so much, McKay. Just want to say that it's an honor to be here and an honor to answer questions. Thank you so much for your time today. And especially, thank you for the shout out on the customer service. We love serving others and helping clubs like yours. So if you have any questions at all regarding Court Reserve, please email sales@courtreserve.com. Or like I said, go directly to our website and schedule a product overview with us. We'd love to connect. We'd love to see if this would be a good fit for you. And absolutely, Patch is a wonderful, wonderful integration. We've just heard some wonderful things working alongside McKay and Patch as a whole. So I recommend using both Court Reserve and Patch, and that's where I'll stop.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for jumping on, Jill. You're great. We really appreciate it. And everybody, thank you for jumping on. We know that you're busy, so we want to be sensitive to your time, everybody. So thanks for jumping on again. We appreciate it, and we'll make the recording available to you. So thanks again, everybody. Have a fantastic day and a great rest of the week. Bye bye.
Thank you.